Hello, people. I finished a book yesterday. Probably is not going to show up real great. It's called Mr. Know-It-All, The Tarnished Wisdom of a Filth Elder. And I said at my last video, I said that I was reading something completely different. And this book is written by John Waters. My wife often says to me, "How come you don't ever read for fun?" And my stock response is, I do read for fun. Just because my books aren't humorous or funny doesn't mean it isn't enjoyable for me to learn things. But this book was fun to read. There was some pretty funny stuff in there. Not all of it was great. There was like chapters in there of his dream house that he wanted to build, a chapter about the restaurant that he wanted to open. None of it serious. It was all tongue-in-cheek humor. Those were kind of crappy chapters. The beginning, detailed many of his movies and a lot of stuff about Divine that I didn't know. I have watched Pink Flamingos, and I watched part of Polyester, so I don't know, there's probably a lot of people that have never seen a John Waters movie, just like there's a lot of people that have never seen the Andy Warhol movies. He writes about Warhol in here too. Warhol had a lot of movies that I've never seen, but I did watch the Frankenstein and the Dracula ones, and they're really weird, just like Waters movies. And I've seen Waters, do interviews and stuff. He's a funny guy. There was a lot of stuff in here about being gay, and I consider myself pretty progressive, but I really don't want to read about gay sex and stuff like that. Otherwise, this was a very enjoyable book. I just have a little bit of notes here. The book was written in 2019. It's 364 pages. Page 72. I didn't really mark what I wanted to read here. They're talking about a movie of his called Serial Mom. And I never saw the movie. It sounds like it's pretty good. But L7, an all-female punk rock group I loved, was hired to play Camel Lips, an even more aggressive fictional riot girl act who wore tight trousers with padded vaginal lips outlined in the crotch. I saw L7. Me and a friend of mine went to the Lollapalooza in Michigan at a place called Pine Knob. It's an outdoor theater. Nobody calls it Pine Knob anymore. That's the old name. The new name is DTE. I don't know. It's some crap, They named it after a company now instead of Pine Knob. I've seen several concerts there over the year. You also can ski at Pine Knob in the wintertime. But I saw L7 there. It was one of those Lollapaloozas that have more than one stage. And L7 was playing, and me and my friend went to go watch them, and we were one of the very few people that decided to go watch L7. And we were, drunk and probably took acid, so I was standing up instead of sitting down, and I was dancing a little bit to their music. And one of the ladies in L7 started to say things to me like, "Look at that good-looking guy." I know it's hard to believe right now, but when I was younger, I was a good-looking man. And I looked behind me. I thought, certainly she's not talking about me. So I looked on both sides of me, and she says, "No, I'm talking about you." So that was kind of a bizarre experience. Also, the name L7, I've always wondered why did they call themselves L7? One of the books that I read about Jutland about the Battle of Jutland. I've got like fucking all I could find about Jutland. It's just absolutely fascinating. The German dirigibles that were zero help on that day, but they would send them out over the North Sea and try to respond. They just confused stuff with what they were reporting. The Germans weren't very imaginative when they named these things. Some of them were L7 and L8 and L9. I would be very surprised if that's how L7 got the name of their band. And then I write wondering here, ... There's things in life that I would rather wonder about. I would rather not find out the story behind. So please don't comment here about how L7 got their name. I don't want to know. I would rather wonder about that for the rest of my life. I never dream about that, but there's places that I dream about on the way up north to my cabin. Spots. Hey, shut up! There's spots that I dream about. There's a creek that I dream about that has a little riverine forest there. There's also a bar that I dream about. It's called the Hunter's Home. And the sign for the Hunter's Home is no longer even there. I think Hunter's Home has been closed for a long time. But I dream that I'm in the Hunter's Home, sitting at the bar drinking and looking out a big window at a lake. So I have no idea what Hunter's Home looked like. And I'm never going to drive back in there to see. The bottom of page 200 and the top of page 201. This is some of the funny stuff, I think. He does a big long section about flying in airplanes. I wish I would have marked the little paragraph he has about emotional support dogs. No matter where you're sitting on the plane, the flight attendants plot how to get back at you if you have been the slightest bit rude to them before takeoff. I don't blame them. They know that it's impossible to hear a fart while in the air, so when they serve the beverage, that's when they get their revenge. If they bend over to put down the drink for the passenger across the aisle from you, they purposefully fart in your face and you can't hear it. It's silent but deadly. Don't believe me? Ask any flight attendant. It's called crop dusting. Every one of them will tell you it's true. I don't know if that's true or not. Can you really not hear a fart in an airplane? Why wouldn't you be able to hear a fart? I don't know. I read 242 pages of this on the first day. The rest of it in much smaller increments because my first day was a Sunday. So when I'm sitting around and I don't have to work, I don't have to make my lunch, blah, 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 I read a lot. And during the work week, when I'm pretty busy, I don't read very much. If I read 25 pages on a work day, that's a lot. Second paragraph, page 298. And then I have written there, we have something in common. $2.98. I hate dogs. Well, not dogs themselves. They can't help being held prisoner by their deaf owners, who never seem to hear their captive barks. He's just talking, one actually said to me when I complained. Yeah, well, arf, arf, I said. That means shut up. Provincetown has been named the most dog-friendly town in America, and I'm afraid to tell you it's true. I live on the beach, and every day while I'm trying to write, I hear, Fluffy, stop it. Fluffy, stop barking. Do these jailers think their dogs are taking notes? I wonder. Heel, I want to shout about 100 times a day. That's the only word a dog understands. Sometimes the yapping goes on for so long on the beach below that I throw caution to the wind and yell, Shut up! Stunned silence. They can't see where I'm yelling from, but some vaguely point up to the vicinity of my apartment with confused outrage. I have to yell, shut up. I have to yell it here in Florida to the people across the canal. Back home in Michigan, I have to yell it once a week at these people that let their dogs bark. That's it. That's all the notes I took from this. I'm going to put this in the pile. I have a separate pile of books that I've read down here since I came down in June, but then I left for a month in October, and now I'm down again, and I'm going to be leaving again sometime in January. I figured I had better do this book video because I'm into another book. I'm 62 pages in, and it's completely different. I'm really enjoying this new book. Thanks for watching.